today I'm going to show you how to make this scrumptious, delicious looking donut pillow right here. And it has pink frosting with some colorful sprinkles. So if you guys want to learn how to make this, stay tuned. For material, I will be using this pink fleece right here. And I bought about a yard of pink fleece just because I wasn't so sure how big I wanted to make my donut. But you could buy somewhere between half a yard to a whole yard depending on how big you want to make your donut. Next, I will be recycling my throw, and this throw right here is a fleece material as well. And it's like a light brown color, so this is perfect for a donut. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is lay out my fleece donut material right here. I think I'm going to make my donut about 20 inches wide. So I need to add an inch to that and make it 21 inch. So half of 21 inch is about 10.5. So what I need to do is find a midpoint mark. And you want to make sure that the circumference around this area gives you enough space where you're going to cut. This is 10.5 inch, and I mark a dot right here already. So you can see there is take the tip of your measuring tape and put it right there and just hold it. And what I'm going to do now is mark 10.5 right here. Now I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to mark 10.5 again. So I think I have enough dots to connect the dots and just draw a circle. And you can actually do half if you want. You don't have to necessarily do the whole thing, like fold this in half. But I don't like my material to be so thick, so I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so with our donut we need to make a hole. And what I'm going to do, about 2.5 inch around. Okay, so before I'm going to start cutting the donut, I'm going to start pinning the sides in. So now I'm going to pin around this circle right here just because I'm going to cut the center. But I think I want to just make that little cut so that way I can cut around it. Okay, so I pretty much removed all the pins out and I just need one part of the donut. So that way I could measure my frosting. And I just need one layer of fabric for the pink. So just lay it out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to trace. And since this is just one piece of fabric that we will be using, you could actually fold it in half. Just mark the midpoint. So this is 5 inches right across. And I'm going to mark it at 2.5 right there. So that way we know where the midpoint is. Now for the pink, I'm going to leave about a quarter or an eighth of an inch. Extra fabric. And this one you could cut right on the line just because we're not going to use the whole piece of pink right here. Okay, so at this point you should know which side is the right side and wrong side. So with the fleece, it really depends on what you prefer better. This is the more fuzzier side, and I like the more fuzzier side to show. So this is the side that is going to be that you're going to see on the pillow. So I'm going to fold this in half now. having the wrong side facing out toward me because I'm gonna draw on the wrong side. So just take out your marker and you want to make some uneven lines, just like that. Okay, and that's going to be our frosting. And now I'm just going to cut around there. Okay, so the next step is to take out fabric glue, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on the edges of the frosting, just like that. Alright, so now we just need to wait a couple minutes and then we will move on to the next step. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the glue to dry up, I'm going to take out some of my foam sheets right here, and I actually cut little parts for my foam sheets here, and you can get this at any craft store. So with sprinkles, you just want to cut out the corners. You don't want it to look too rectangular or squared shape. You just want a nice oval or any rounded corners, and that would do. Oops. And so what I did was threaded my needle, and this is double thread, as you can see right here. See that? And at the end I knot it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to find a starting point. And my pink right now doesn't match the lighter pink of the material, but that's okay. It kind of adds a nice touch to it. In, and then my fabric's like this. You see that needle right there? Go up, just like that. So when you're under the fabric, you want your needle to go sideways and up. Okay, so I already sewed the edges of the donut, and you don't necessarily have to do that just because the glue sticks the fabric together pretty well enough. But I don't like the way the raw edges look, and I think this gives it a finishing touch. So what you need to do next is take the other piece of the donut and make sure you have the right side facing inward, just because this is what you will see, and whatever is facing out right now is what we will sew together. And make sure you have an opening on one of the sides, and you can pick pretty much any side. I think I want to pick this side right here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to finish pinning around right here, leave this area open, and then I'm going to stitch it all around with the sewing machine. Okay, so the donut should look like this after you sew all around and turn it inside out. So you still have that opening right here, and the inside circle is still open as well. So I haven't done anything to that yet. So right now I'm working on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the brown part from the pink part, and I'm just going to sew all around here with the sewing machine. Okay, so I am all done sewing the inner circle of the donut right here. And as you can see, I also did an extra zigzag stitch right here just to secure it in a little bit more, because the raw edges is actually going to show from behind, but that doesn't matter because that's the part that you don't see much anyways. And the pink part, the reason why we're making the pink hole smaller is because we're going to stitch the pink part inward, so that way you don't see the raw edges of the brown fabric. So at this point, we are ready to stuff our donut with cotton. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start stuffing my donut. Okay, so this is nicely stuffed right there. I want to make sure the cotton is nice and even. So next thing I'm gonna do is just stitch in this part right here with a needle and thread, and then I'm gonna stitch this part in. Alright, so I am on to the middle part. Sewing the donut. Okay, so the last part right here is the fun part, and that is to put on the sprinkles. So I just put some fabric glue on some scraps right here, and I'm just gonna dip this into the glue, and then I'm gonna put it on the donuts. And just scatter them however way you like.